Mullen recently filed for a proxy statement which talks about both a reverse split and further dilution. So what's exactly going on and should you buy? Sit tight as we answer that by going through the filing along with recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. The company has issued a proposal to reverse split its stock and the board of directors will decide on the split numbers. Most people are estimating a 1 for 5 reversal which would price the stock at $1 so it can abide by the terms of the Russell 2000 index. However, their second proposal has confused people as they seek permission to increase their common stock issuing authority from the current 1.75 billion to 5 billion. This hints at further dilution, which is another problem that David Michery faces criticism for. They also wish to change their HQ location from Delaware to Maryland, which has major ports and business benefits. And in our opinion, if Mullen's reverse split goes through, it should bring an end to the dilution streak, which is a good sign. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for MULN, and as always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and turn it off, we'll get in the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, we can see that we're already up by around 10% on the pre-market, thanks to the reverse split news. So that's an 11 or rather 12% pre-market rise, right? We already discussed in our previous videos that MULN, being a volatile stock, can give surprise gains like this one, for example. So where exactly is the stock headed and should you buy? Well, if you ask me, the stock is definitely bullish in the long term. I personally am bullish on the stock for the long term, but will this rally last and is the stock in for a reversal? Well, at the current moment, I don't really see the stock being reversed. So if we get a gap up this big today, we'll probably get a rally as well on the upside. So that is not something to debate about, right? We'll have to check on the pre-market data later in this video to check if we're already getting some sell-off or is the trend strong. And if the trend is strong, then we'll probably continue this uptrend throughout the day, and we might just get a green candle today after these three red candles. So if that happens, of course, that's a good sign for the stock. But considering the factor that the entire markets are bearish right now, and we were just on the verge of starting another, or rather creating and continuing another bearish trend, I don't see this candle, or rather this uptrend, lasting that long. Right, for now, we might have gotten this big candle on the upside, right? We might go even towards 0.32, but we'll eventually get resisted over here, I believe, around 0.325 or even below that, or even, around $0.31, right? 31 cents, we might get resisted there, but we will eventually get resisted. And one day, well, not today exactly, but either on Friday or on Monday, we will probably get another red candle and we'll probably continue this trend where we left it off by getting around this level at 0.266, right? Once we do that, of course, now this is not a bad sign for the stock, right? Hear me out. Ever since David has been kind of liquidating the stock, right? Institutions have still been buying, right? Institutions did not give up buying the stock. So is that a good sign? Well, in my opinion, yes. It just means that people are more eager to buy at cheap prices because they know what's coming up in the future, right? As for institutions, well, it might be that they earlier bought at higher prices, so they're trying to average out their prices at a lower level, right? So they can get at least some gains once the stock goes up. But as for normal investors, I believe that right now is a good time to buy, right? Of course, this level at 30 cents is a bit inflated in the current term. So I personally would wait for this trend to wear off, and that would probably take like 2 or 3 days, maybe by Monday or Tuesday. So next week, right, I'll be waiting for the stock to get down back to these levels and hopefully under these levels as well in order to get a good buying opportunity, right? So of course, if we look at the support as well, we do have somewhat of a common support around 0.256 or rather 0.2575. And if that's the case, we might actually make a head and shoulders pattern. So this might kind of be the beginning of this. So we made one shoulder over here. We might make a head and then we might make another shoulder And once that is done, we might be in for a, an actual reversal or an actual bull trend. But at the moment, I don't really see the stock going up that high. We will eventually get resisted. We might cross this level as I already discussed with this head and shoulder prediction, right? So even if we cross that, we'll eventually get resisted either around 0. You know, 36. So let's mark that 0.36 or even 0.35 for that matter. Should be a good level to get resisted. And after that, we'll probably get supported a bit over here, come down further. But this, of course, is only one scenario. This is one side of the story. But if we just get a red candle today, then what's going to happen? Well, if you ask me, we'll probably just continue this bearish trend that we had, and we'll eventually, not this week, not next week, we'll eventually get a reversal, because of course, as I already told you, I personally believe that the stock will eventually go up. And well, we did get some news as well over here. What is this? Mullen announces funding to close on ELMS assets. Well, that is good, right? It just indicates that what do you call it? The ELMS deal will finally be done and dusted, and now we might actually see some good signs from that as well. We might see the revenues running, we might see the company, ELMS getting back on its track, and once that happens, of course, it will help Mullen as well. And it's not an overstatement if I were to say that with Bollinger Motors as Mullen's right arm or right hand, ELMS might serve as its left hand or just a sidekick. So that might be a good thing in the future, of course. But with that being said, I believe that we have already analyzed the 1 day chart. So let's quickly move on into the 1 hour chart to continue with the technical analysis. So now that we're in the 1 hour chart, we have something really interesting to observe for the 16th November chart. Right over here, we got a reversal pattern. We got a pin bar on the downside and a pin bar on the upside. Not exactly a pin bar, but this is what I call a pin bar in my language, right? So this just indicates that we got a wick on the upside, so we had some selling pressure. That converted into some buying pressure, or rather the opposite. I'm sorry for that. We had some selling pressure and then some buying pressure. So this indicates that we got a weak, kind of a weak demand over here. So that indicated another continuation to the bear trend. So of course we ended it off with an inside candle on the green side, and that kind of indicated some volatility on the green side, of course, right, on the bullish term. And that, of course, we can see the results over here. If we talk about some levels, we can see that we had a support around $0.27. We have another support around $0.26 pretty much. We have a resistance over here around 0.277. And of course, none of that matters now because we've gone past, way past it. So we're currently trading at 0.2955. And of course, the main stuff lies in the 5-minute chart. So let's quickly jump on to the 5-minute chart and see even the extended trading hours as well. So now that we're in the 5-minute chart, let me quickly clear out all of these drawings and switch into the extending trading hours, the extended trading hours. Now over here, we can see that we kind of have hit the peak. So today might actually turn out to be a continuation of this bull trend, right? There are two scenarios, of course. First up, we have hit this 31-cent resistance as I already discussed. And going up, we saw some pin bars over here, and that indicated further volatility and uptrend. But we got a pin bar on the lower side over here, after which we got another pin bar on the lower side, followed by a red candle. So if this turns out to be the way that I imagine it, right, we should probably turn this into another sell-off and get back into these levels. But there is another thing to consider, right? This actually might not be the start of a bearish trend, but it actually might just be a continuation for the bull trend because, we always get pullbacks between bull trends. But of course, if we observe the other side, we also got a point in the proxy proposal that David Misery, of course, signed that the stock might actually get some more dilution by going from $1.75 billion in common stock, or rather 1.75 billion common stock to 5 billion common stock. So that's um, around 2.5x, I believe, right? I'm not that good at maths. I'm sorry for that. So with that, of course, if that goes through, so this uptrend was, of course, caused by that positive news of the reverse split, and this downtrend now will be a result of, the bad news. So that is what I'm kind of betting on. But of course, if we look at the brighter side as well, we might just be continuing the bull trend. So as long as we don't get back to these levels around 0.27, we should be good, right? And today might actually be a good day. But I personally would wish for, you know, continuation of this bearish trend, just so, most of us like me can buy up on more stock. So, of course, if we consider the later consequences or rather results of this market, if we talk about the closing hours, I personally see the stock being somewhere around this range, around $0.28, right? 28 cents. So that would be my price prediction for the day. So let me mark that. 28 cents, right? Somewhere around there. Well, why didn't I mark that? 28 cents. And of course, if we talk about a higher price target, in case we continue this bullish trend, I don't really see the stock going above the 32-cent range in a single day, because that would probably be like what, a somewhere around a 20% uprise in a single day, and I don't see that happening. Of course, Mullen is capable of that, but with the current scenarios, right, we do have good news, but we also have bad news, so it should probably prevent that from going all the way up, and we should probably get back, we'll probably get resisted around the 31-cent area again. And once we get that, we'll probably continue the bearish trend. But one way or the another, we will eventually continue the bearish trend, as I already told you. But then again, that does not make me a MULN hater, an MULN hater, because I personally am, of course, very bullish on the trend and I'm fighting against all odds personally in my own mind. But then again, with that being said, remember that this definitely was not financial advice and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.